So, hi, welcome to this podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with,
Hi, I'm Greg, also known as Secret Gardens.
and we have some questions to say about their new album, The Impermanent Amber. So, congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
Thank you. Feeling pretty good about it. It's been like I don't know how to describe it. It's been really positive where people hear it, but some people just haven't had the time to check it out. But then when people do get it, they get it. So that's always like really gratifying and really sick. But I just think people have a lot going on nowadays and they just don't have sometimes they don't have time to check out music they're not familiar with, or sometimes they're really into discovering new music. So it always like everyone, thank the universe. Everyone has been so nice and really cool. And then also, if they're not into it and it's not for them, they've also been really sick and just kind of went their own way and not
Yeah,
like been hateful or anything and stuff. So that's like best case scenario.
Well, that's a bonus. It keeps the
absolutely.
comment section clean, you know.
hmm
But the album rocks. I'm digging it
Oh
big
yeah.
time.
Oh yeah. That shit
Thank
clicked
you.
immediately for me. It's so fucking good.
Really, dude, thank
hmm
you. That's fucking awesome. I never know nowadays. I think I'm starting to get to the point where it's just like out of my orbit, like
hmm
people's responses and perceptions of stuff, like which I don't understand how or when or why that happens, but like yeah, that like I guess with each release I've grown, so it's like does anyone even listen to this? I don't know. I hope they do.
Yeah.
Someone's
Okay.
listening.
So yeah. So you're still hoping that people are listening. It's not kind of just like a I don't know and I don't care because I'm doing it for me. There is still like a little bit that kind of wants to know if people are listening and liking.
There's like there's a beautiful like dance between the two because when I make it, it is very like this is for me, and also like if I'm collaborating with someone on a specific song, it's very let's what sounds the best to both of us and what sounds
hmm
really cool because I'm a music listener and enjoyer too, and most people like collaborate with are um so like once it gets to that point and we write stuff and it's like musical decisions are already made, I'm definitely like, yeah, all right, that's what it is. Like, let me record it, mix it, put it out, blah blah blah, whatever.
hmm
And then I guess I do care about the metrics to some extent. Like, I will, you always want to grow and impact more people, but at the end of the day, like, I'm so thankful for what people I have impacted or affected with my art.
hmm
You can't win them all. You're not going to have everyone in the world who likes you, but
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just cool to see it affecting people in a positive way and
hmm
a meaningful way. And that's something I've been like, I don't know. I've been working at this dang music thing for like my whole life, it seems. So
Yeah.
there is some aspect of that that's really nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah. Now, with this release, you finish up what you've been working towards, which is creating releases for each season. I'm curious, like, with the process of kind of putting a season and a season's vibe into music. Like, what's your process for that?
Yeah, this is something that's like I guess with the people who like Secret Gardens, it like clicks for them, but it's pretty much just like I categorize like almost every memory I have um in terms of like what time of year it was. Like I could tell you most things that happened in my life, like I could tell you what time of year it was, like how the weather was like around that time. Like was it
hmm
cold out? Was it summer? Was I sweating all the time? Like was I like out hiking in like snowy mountains, or was I like in a swamp and it was all buggy and muddy? I don't know. Those are bad examples, but
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
basically, like running with that, I've always just kind of been able to like make soundtracks for like I don't know, seasons and like things in my life, things I've like gone through and the vibe like depending on the like memories I have during that time.
hmm
I don't know. It's like a weird mix of things, but I also listen to a ton of bands during certain like seasons.
Yep.
Like there's certain bands like during the winter, like I won't touch them right now.
Hmm.
I'll shelve like I don't know, I could give you an example. Like I probably wouldn't listen to Transit right now much or
Hmm.
like the story so far because it's like summer.
Same
That's
story
like
so far.
summer fall music for
Hmm.
me. Um and then there's certain bands like I'll only listen to right now. Like there's a Now Now record called Threads that's like one of the one of my favorite records ever. This is like the perfect winter
Hmm.
somber like emotion chilling dripped record. I don't know how to explain it. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I grew up very formatively taking influence from that kind of stuff and so that kind of like way to translate sound just bled into my own music and just like every memory I have like and the things I wanted to channel because Secret Gardens is also like my own therapeutic process and my own like memories and things I've gone through, just like music is for everybody else, except with this like tetralogy of season albums, I just kind of like categorized them a bit more and made them a little more uniform, I guess, than you could say. Like I'll on the last record, the Impermanent Amber, I wrote about like experiences I had during fall and like
Hmm.
stories I had during fall at various different years. So like
Yeah.
a fall memory from 2020, a fall memory from 2022, like
Hmm.
and like you could say it's a memory, but it's also like a feeling, like a normal thing someone would write a song about. But
Mhm.
just like I'm not going to touch this issue until the next record, or I'm not going to touch this topic till the fall record, till the winter record. So I kind of
Yeah.
like saved them and put them in the bank, and then used them appropriately for each record, I guess you could say.
Yeah. That's so interesting. So not only sonically is it categorized as like this sounds like a fall record, it's also lyrically, like the contents of it and the stories that you're telling are also from, seasons that you experienced those in.
Yeah, Secret Gardens is not primarily I don't know if you've listened back to further records. It's not primarily an project with vocals and lyrics, but
Hmm.
it's always like creatively limit free.
Mhm.
So with this record, I did challenge myself a bit as a vocalist to write some things and sing some stuff because I had a little more to get off my chest. But if I'm just looking at the track list here, like there's stuff about moving out of one of my best friend's house. There's stuff about this hiking trail I did in the fall. Um, that like was a and like this weird guy I met on a hiking trail. And then let's see, there's some stuff about like my battles with like depression here and
Hmm.
there, which is very much a fall coded thing, especially late fall. Like, yeah, I'm just looking over it and I'm seeing the various like fall categorized topics in the song, and then like
Yeah.
other albums it'll be a different set of topics. And also, weirdly enough, like sonically is the main thing. Like
Hmm.
I try to channel fall or spring or summer or winter sonically, and then if I have lyrics and things like specifics I want to say, and I feel like vocals will be good on the song, then I can also go there, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
really fucking cool. I love it.
Hell
I
yeah.
love it a
thank
lot.
you.
Hmm. And is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Oh, there's a lot of meaning to everything, so
Hmm.
I love this question.
Wonderful.
We'll start with the cover art. The cover art is, actually, if you hold on one second, I could literally show you. It's a physical piece of artwork. It's
Oh,
an
That's
that's so
so
sick.
actual
I
fucking
love
like
cool.
that.
collage work that I commissioned from my longtime friend Alyssa Gursky. So just hold on a
Hmm.
moment. I literally
Hmm.
have it. I have it kind of like covered. I'll take this covering off, but it's real. You can see it.
Damn.
That's
Ooh.
so
It's
fucking
like,
awesome.
Oh, that's so clean. Oh, I love that.
yeah. So my friend Alyssa, who I've been friends with for like 15, 20 years. I don't even know at this point.
Hmm.
She is this like crazy good collage artist who just I I've seen some of her previous work.
Hmm.
So I just kind of was like, hey, would you be interested on doing interested to do something for the new record that I'm making right now. It's gonna be fall theme, blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
And she was down, and I tour for other bands, like working as like a tech or sometimes playing guitar for other bands. It depends on what the tour is, but
Hmm.
I was on tour in Portland where she lives, and I had a day off, and we knew we wanted to work on this, so I went with her to a few like thrift stores and stuff like that, and we got some books that had pictures that matched the vibe,
Hmm.
kind of like scrapbooked some stuff together, cut out some pieces that looked interesting to us, and that wasn't like a definitive list, but it was a great starting point. And then I told her like, okay, like go cook now and keep me updated. We can go back and forth about this, but we started from that point. And then over the next like 9 months, slowly, she kind of worked on it like once a week kind of vibe.
Hmm.
Um, you put that together, we like got the right amount of layering, excuse me, down, and yeah, it came out to be that, and we were so stoked on that, and then I got it professionally like scanned.
Hmm.
She brought it to somewhere in Portland to get professionally scanned, and that's the digital artwork that you see.
Mm.
Um, And yeah, I mean it's like it's one of my favorite things ever, and like every cent that I spent and gave her to make this is so worth it. It's easily like one of my favorite freaking record covers, and the story behind it being like a real living breathing piece of art that was like commissioned for this exact purpose is something that's actually new for me. All the previous records in the tetralogy like are photos that really like talented photographer friends I have took that happen to really just match and fit well.
Yeah,
But I wanted to try something different with this one. So yeah, I take album art very seriously, as you can tell.
Yeah.
as you should.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's super important. And so yeah, it's just it's living, breathing piece of art there, and I need to get it like professionally like framed in glass that's like
Hmm.
UV resistant and shit like that. I
Hell yeah.
haven't gotten around to that because I'm gonna be moving soon, but I need to get to that.
Hmm.
And so I knew when making the record, I knew like the words either the word amber or the word auburn were
Ooh,
great
yeah.
to start from, and I just didn't really know exactly where I was gonna go with it, but I knew I liked those words as a starting point. And I started making the record more, and it's funny. I'd like, you take the ride and you don't really know where it's gonna end up, but yeah, I took the ride and started writing the record and started formulating more of it, and I really ended up on this like central theme of this one installment to the tetralogy, like which I didn't anticipate, but it also like makes so much sense. Like I feel like fall is one of the easiest times during the year where you could see that like nothing, like how short everything lasts for, and like how
Hmm.
Mhm.
impermanent everything is, just with like the death and decay of all the nature, and also how
Hmm.
short the season, like when you think about
Yeah.
ideal fall, like that's like, I mean,
It's a blip in the
it's not
radar.
more than a month worth of, yeah, it's not more than a month's worth of time out of a 12-month
Hmm.
year. So, um, I eventually just like, I don't know what I was doing. I don't remember it all, but like it hit me like a truck one day, and I was like, the impermanent amber. Like,
Mm.
damn, okay. That is like, that's
Cooking.
what it is.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like you could think of that as like the leaves on the trees or like the whole season. Like, you
Hmm.
know, it's a multifaceted kind of title within that theme. So I loved it, and I just was like, "Yep, that's it." Bam. So,
Hell yeah. Love it.
Exactly.
So what song off the album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
good question.
Thank you.
Look at that track list right now. Longest to write. So would you say that like when I started the riff versus when I like got done with the songwriting? Like, would you say that would be like the length of time? Because it's weird because I start things and then I know I it's like not the right time to work on it, so I
Mm-hmm.
shelve it for later. So I guess technically, oh well, technically
Mm-hmm.
you could say technically it would be the Coven
Okay.
because the Coven was a song from my old band that we never ended up using.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was in a band called Vista for a while, and we did not end up using the instrumental that was pretty much the first like 30 seconds of the song.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I mean, we wrote that in like 2018, 2019, I think.
Damn, yeah.
So I shelved that for a while until I had like the right like context to work on it
Mm-hmm.
with Secret Gardens. So, yeah, I hadn't worked on it for years and years and years, and then for this album, I knew that that vibe could fit, especially if I took it in a heavier direction, because I do like having like one heavy song on each album, or each album in the tetralogy at least. Like I like having one heavy song on each,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
because my logic is that each season has like its heavy moments, like
Yeah.
an intense thunderstorm
Yeah.
during the summer, like that the one that like scares the shit out of you,
Yep.
or
Mm-hmm.
Tundra, it's a song called Squall, which is about I don't know if you remember are you guys in New Jersey or
I
New
am.
York City? Where are
He
you?
is. I'm in Virginia.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there was like a crazy snow squall in New York City, like I don't even know, like 2019, 2020. It was, and I was riding a train into the city
Mhm.
and I
Oh,
watched it happen and go away. And it was like
yeah.
one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So things like that, like that's why I like have heavier moments on each record, and I also just love heavy music. So, um, yeah, I'd say the Coven took the longest to answer your question,
Mm-hmm.
and you said the second part was what was my favorite?
Yes.
Yep.
Hmm. Um, this is like such a typical answer, but they all like cycle
Yeah.
a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I really like listening to A Tragic Tale of Stars, the last track. But
Mm-hmm.
it is kind of the hardest to listen to, honestly, because it's like really it's really heavy for me. I wrote that about some heavy stuff. But I think I like really like got so truly aligned with what was in my brain for that song and like got it out like, got it off my chest, so to speak, like in the most like honest, genuine way possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just like truly conveyed that sadness that I wanted to convey.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love like technically and melodically speaking what I pulled off with the guys on Rumination. That song is like really, really cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty stoked as having it as like the lead single. I intentionally chose that because that's
Yeah.
like a really good like statement of like what Secret Gardens is or can be, and also like, hey, here's what fall sounds like, because it
Yeah.
was the first
Mm-hmm.
thing I released from the record.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's wonderful. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
So, how did the track listing for the album come about? Did you write the opener to be the opener, closer to be the closer? Did you shuffle around to see what fits? What was that process like?
Opening and closing was definitely intentional and
Okay.
decided like
Yeah.
pretty well before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Once I had all the tracks like written out, I knew like opening and closing from a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Knew that the first like full band song should be Rumination track 2.
Mhm.
And then the middle of that, I kind of played around with a few things. I thought it would be cool to have all the songs that have the in the beginning, the
Mm-hmm.
Crisp, the Mule, the Upper Peninsula, the Coven. I thought it'd be
Yeah.
cool to just have all those back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure, like I don't know. I feel like it'd be I feel like it would have been a cop out if I tried to like place them all within the record
Hmm.
because I have four songs on the record that start with the word the.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like,
Come
fuck
on.
it, put them all together. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah. Because kind of
Um,
then oh my God, that in of itself is kind of telling a story almost because it's kind of like, oh, the rabbit, the fucking horse, and the pig. It's just you kind of group them
yeah.
together. Yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah, I
fuck
feel
with
like
it.
that would be easier to digest for some
Hmm.
reason. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
it's easier to be like, oh, the part of the record where all the songs with start with the.
With
I don't know.
Yeah.
exactly. Or I liked the section of the record.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. um, so we've definitely touched on this, but if you'd like, you can go a bit more in depth. Where was your headspace at while you were writing this record?
Mhm.
Um, it was very pensive. I I like wanted to I intentionally held off on working on a bunch of this material until the fall time.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Um, that's a decision I've made each time with each record in
Mhm.
the series. So most of it was like fall 2023. A little bit I started in the summer, like the few weeks before the fall of 2023. Um, my headspace was, I mean, it was definitely very pensive, very like taking it all in,
Mhm.
um, so to speak. But also, calling back to like the last track that I told you about before, I was going through, I was in the process of losing a friend to cancer who he's not with us today, unfortunately, but
Mhm.
it was like, it was a long, slow process that I knew about for like 9 months or so. So I was kind of like going through a bunch of anxiety, but also exciting things were happening in my career at the moment. I
Mhm.
was on tour for a good portion of last fall, and it was very it was fun. It was definitely a lot of fun.
Mhm.
So it was a very mixed, pensive headspace,
Absolutely.
where I was thinking about a lot, but I also was trying to enjoy the most I could. I don't know. It's hard to answer, but maybe I'll have more clarity on it a few years out. But that sounds like the best answer to it.
Yeah, that makes
Mhm.
sense. I'm sorry for your loss.
Mhm.
But it feels like
Mm.
the fall is like just a pensive time of year. At least I know I get that way. Like the fall and winter time suck
Mhm.
emotionally. So I guess it makes
Mhm.
sense, to be in that headspace. You're writing a fall record during the fall time. It's just kind of like natural in a way.
Yeah, I mean, fall is beautiful too. It's
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
everything's like so ideal and so like perfectly on the spectrum, just right
Mhm.
in the middle, right there. It's that beautiful little dot of like weather and
Mhm.
festivities and
Temperature.
celebration.
Yep.
And
Mm.
I've always associated fall too with like a coming home after a grand adventure and like
Absolutely.
telling the tales with your friends, not like literally, but also sometimes like the essence of that, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I've just had a lot of like adventures over the summertime and return to home in the fall. Like that's
Mhm.
happened a few times. And then there's like going back to school, which is some sort of a similar thread. It's I don't know, but yes. And then the further into fall you get, the more, you can have a bit more of that like kind of seasonal depression vibe and the
Mhm.
more like desolate, somber feeling inside.
Mhm.
So I think it kind of actually gets that way as the record progresses,
Yeah,
if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah. It
absolutely.
does absolutely. Yeah. So,
Hmm.
how do you recommend your fans to listen to this record for the first time? Should they play it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Should they work out to it? What do you personally recommend?
Personally, it's funny because this like concept expands through the whole tetralogy. Like right now, I would say is not even the ideal time to listen to the
Mm.
Impermanent Amber. But like take that with a grain of salt. Like you're talking about the first time they listen to it.
Yeah.
Very first
Like
time.
in an ideal world, yeah, in an ideal world, they like it's like October in the middle of October, and they
Mm-hmm.
just like go on a walk in their favorite park, and the trees are all just like all sorts of different reds, yellows, oranges, blues, and stuff. And you throw that bad boy on and you
Hmm.
just, you know, zone in and walk for 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
I think it's an hour. Yeah. And that's like ideally the first time you should listen to it, but you could, I mean, whatever way it speaks to you is totally valid. I would say right now, January is like the perfect time to listen to Tundra, especially
Hmm.
since we just got some snow.
Hmm.
The weather's cold as hell.
Hmm.
That's the winter installment.
Of course, yeah.
Um, but yeah, the it's really like whatever your game is, honestly. The point is so that you could potentially have like a companion to go through your experiences with if,
Hmm.
if my writings are any sort of help to you. But yeah, the whole tetralogy thing is like you should listen to the spring and fall and summer and so on.
Hmm.
Um just because I think it just hits the right way, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You
It's
gotta
what it
you
is.
got
That's
you
what it was
gotta
made for.
release. Yeah, you gotta release for every single season. That means people will be listening to you all year long. It's perfect for
There
the
you
for the
go.
numbers and the metrics that we were talking about way earlier. It's perfect for that.
Hmm.
Just
There
a
you
huge
go.
marketing strategy. I don't even care about
Exactly.
music.
Who gives a fuck about
Yeah,
music, man? All about the money.
music is fucking stupid, dude.
I hate it. Yeah.
So this
But yeah, no, I have thought about that. Like, yeah, there is like a reason to keep listening.
Hmm.
Although I think the summer record was my first release, and I think I want to re-record it, re-release it. Kind
Hmm.
of like a bunch, like Thrice did that. I want to
Mhm.
just reapproach it a bit because it was very much my like first foregoing into what this project is. So
Hmm.
Makes sense.
That's fair.
So this question should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
pensive, revelry, and dynamic, I guess you could say, because it
Hmm.
does sonically go all over the place.
Yeah.
That's good.
Wonderful.
Hell
All
yeah.
right. And is there any certain feeling or emotion you want this album to evoke in your listeners?
I don't know what this feeling is called, but just connection and
Hmm.
like being seen.
Yeah.
I really want people to feel like seen and understood, even if that's not like lyrically, like just with. All right, I want people to feel immersed, I guess, which
Hmm.
is kind of the mission statement of Secret Gardens, if you will. Like, I want people to just feel really, really like immersed into what they're listening to.
Hell yeah.
Wonderful.
Love it. So can you talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments in the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Getting the features to work out was definitely like, collaborating with all those people was a lot to manage. Um, hmm. You said challenges specifically, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Or
Positive
just
or
standout
negative.
moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't
Everyone
have to be
Yeah,
like,
always
moments.
everyone always goes negative, but it can
mhm.
be positive.
Right. Um, huh. I mean, there were some things I didn't anticipate on happening, like some of the extra piano tracking and like string arrangements that I had a string player play and like record me. I wasn't anticipating on coming into those, but I was so glad that I did.
Mhm.
Um, most things with this one, I can't say that about the other ones. Most things with this one went exactly as planned, which was super sick. But I mean, I traveled a bit to make all these sessions and recordings happen because I'm a kind of DIY person with this. I mean, I don't have a label or anything, so this
Mhm.
is all me producing, mixing, and collaborating with people.
Hell yeah.
But recording Ella from Transit, that was definitely a standout moment. I had so much fun doing that because a lot of days with collaborations, you'll kind of like remotely work on stuff. But I was
Mhm.
like, we were just trying to schedule it out, me and her, and I just was like, fuck it, why don't I just drive down to Charlotte because it's like a day's drive,
Mhm.
and let me just fucking let's just get an Airbnb and I'll make a makeshift kind of vocal booth and let's just fucking track the vocals and just
Yeah.
work together in person, you and me.
Yeah.
And that was really fun because Transit, one of my favorite bands growing up, and Ella's so down to earth, so cool, one of the like nicest people in the world. And I just like we just like hit it off and just started naturally like having a good time and got through the song and it was just like a super fun experience. Like went out for food afterwards and
Hmm.
um we had a friend there too and it was just like we all three of us had like a great time and just like hung out and I like it was almost like you could have like a fangirl moment but not because she's so down to earth like
Hmm.
and so cool that there that like barrier was just like all those walls were just immediately down
Yeah.
because she was just like so down to work with it and loved the song and I was just like this is fucking awesome because yeah like sonically that song is a love letter to like that type of music and that kind of like itch that Transit would scratch for me so it was really cool to it was really cool to just make that happen I would say it was one of my favorite moments.
That's so
That's
fucking
very sweet.
awesome.
I'm so
Hell
happy
yeah.
that happened. Yeah. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
Trying to eat a little healthier actually.
Hmm.
um the snack wise. I mean, kombucha's sick, but
I
that's
love
a drink.
kombucha.
That's not a snack.
Hmm.
I love uh I love just a solid like nuts or trail mix.
Hmm.
Just keep it classy, Like yeah, like when I play guitar for a lot like Birds and when we were on
Hmm.
that past run, I yeah, it was just like almost every day we had to do that. Eventually, I started doing just the simple like nuts with like salt and lime and
Oh, yeah.
whatnot. Our drummer kind of turned me on to that. And then, yeah, sometimes I like go a little more decadent on the other types of trail mixes, but generally try to stick to the nut snacks.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
I'd say a, a make your own taco night because there's so many different sounds and influences all coming into one.
Damn
All
right. A little
right.
taco bar. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, taco bar.
Hell yeah. And for these last couple questions, we are actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah, no, I we could talk about whatever forever. I don't care.
All
Hell yeah.
right.
So we're actually gonna go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row,
Nice.
what would your last meal be with a drink?
It'd probably have to be like an extremely spicy tikka masala,
Ooh.
with like cheesy garlic naan all up in there. Just
Hmm.
like absolute like carb loading.
Damn right.
Um, maybe some like mango lassi to go with that because like that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Or I really like. I mean, lately I've been on this elderberry kombucha kick. That
Mm.
one is like the best flavor.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
maybe that. I don't know. I mean, also like to top it all off, like I'm a chocolate gremlin, so like the world's finest bar of bars of chocolate. I'd eat all that and then I'd just peace out. I'd be out.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Hey, I'm good. I literally just had that exact Indian order, I think Sunday. So you and
That's
me, we're on the
awesome.
same
That's
level. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
I haven't been I've been cooking a lot with my girlfriend at home. So I haven't been out to eat in a hot minute. So we either gotta make some soon or I gotta go
Mhm.
out and get some.
Yeah.
It's due time.
Either way, man, it's happening. It's happening.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah. So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Hyrule,
Oh
definitely.
shit,
From
Hyrule,
Zelda.
that's Game of Thrones, right?
No, it's Zelda.
Damn it.
I think
Okay.
Yeah, probably that. Uh it's yeah, I mean, I'm the nerdiest Zelda nerd there ever was, sort
Hmm.
of. I don't know. I will say out of everyone you've had on this show,
Hmm.
I think I'm the most Zelda obsessed. I just don't talk about it as much, but like
It's a
Hmm.
bold
I've
statement.
played like
Yeah, I was gonna say we've had a lot of
I
people
think
say Zelda.
I'm like knee deep. I have one tattoo and it's Zelda related. I don't know.
Oh,
That
it's
puts
just the
me
one.
somewhere in the rank. I
Right?
have
Okay.
one tattoo.
Hmm.
I have one tattoo. It's of Majora's Mask. It's on my back. That's
Hmm.
it. That's all I got on my body. I might
Yeah.
get more one day, but it's fucking expensive. Number one.
God, yeah,
Number
it
two,
is.
I'm indecisive as to as what should I do? Because like
Hmm.
part of me wants a half sleeve. Like I don't know. It's also got to work with what I have already. So
Hmm.
there's like a lot of factors to consider.
A lot of planning for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
God damn it.
Yeah.
So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question.
Hmm.
What is your favorite color?
Dude, I does everyone have an answer for this?
Yes, and if they don't, we usually pressure them or guilt them.
Shit.
Or
Yeah.
What the
guilt.
fuck? Everyone has an answer for this?
Yeah. They find one.
That's crazy. Fuck. I like legitimately it's hard because like it's so dependent on things. I mean like if you want to get into like the emotional science of it, like
Mm-hmm.
the thing that makes me feel a really I'd say the most comfort is like a deep forest green
Okay.
Yes.
because like nature and like I don't know what you know or don't about me or the music or whatever, but I'm like pretty much almost everything is nature inspired that I do.
Hmm.
And I actually get a lot of songwriting like influence and ideas while hiking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big hiker. I've been to like there's like 63 national parks. I've been to like almost 40 of them.
Damn.
I
God
just
damn, that's
yeah,
awesome.
I do a lot and I love being out there.
Hmm.
When I have like time off from touring and working on music and doing adult shit and making money.
Hmm.
That's like what I like to do.
Hmm.
Me and
Yeah.
my girlfriend both love that. So yeah, I mean, I definitely feel a beautiful, unspoken comfort when in like a deep forest green kind of forest scenario. Like just getting more into the science of it, like Cathedral Trees is a song on the Spring record called Everbloom. That was
Hmm.
like a single on there, and that song was written about it's instrumental, but that song like is the soundtrack to me going to the Redwoods in California for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
That like I don't know if you've ever been there or seen photos of it. It's like pure magic. It's like
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like Jurassic Park type of like fantasy world shit. Like you're just walking amongst these trees and they're like as big as like cars, like
Hmm.
circumference wise, and
Yeah.
it's hard to comprehend. But yeah, that's definitely like a prevalent color out there, mixed with others, but like just definitely there's like a certain kind of magic with that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. So I'll say a deep forest green.
Hell yeah.
Good pick.
So as Gloria said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Yeah, we have a new album called The Impermanent Amber. It came out in the fall in October. But it's part of a series of four works, a tetralogy, if you will, of albums that sonically represent each season. Go listen to all of them, and it's even better if you listen to all of them in the corresponding season. We are going to be touring this spring. That's to be announced. Gonna be releasing some more content on Instagram, YouTube, and all that stuff. At Secret GRDNS. So Secret Gardens, but the word gardens does not have vowels in it. So
Hmm.
Secret GRDNS is our social media. Um, and yeah, just come to a show if you can, if you're near one, listen to the records, tell me if you like it. And if you don't, it's all good. There's plenty of other records out there.
Hell yeah.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, thank you for now. It's been Greg from Secret Gardens, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.